So I'm currently in the laundry room, trying to get away from all the noise so I can actually do this video. I just want to tell a little bit about my birth story, or my children's birth story. Anyways, okay, the first one is Kason. He was born on 6/25/14 at around 1 a.m. My story with him is, of course, there's a lot of good times, but I'm just going to really mention like the bad things, I guess, because the good things are obvious, you know, first kid, first kick, I mean, all that's good. The bad, I guess, kind of had a hard pregnancy with him, not health-wise or anything, but the dude that I was with at the time, his biological father, was abusive and on drugs, so there was many times like this one where, I mean, there was one time where he put a knife to my neck because he was so out of his head talking about how he was going to kill me and shit, which, you know, scared the shit out of me because not only was it my life, but it was my baby's, and I was like 7 months pregnant, so, or maybe 8, and I had to like find a way to get the fuck out of that house. I actually still have this thing on my leg where he threw a phone at me and it hit my leg. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. It's like it busted a vein or something, I'm not really sure. But my friend Chelsea was over at my house. It was just me and her. And I went to use the bathroom and I peed and I stood up and I was still peeing. And I was like, oh shit, this ain't pee. My water broke. You know, so I was just like, my water broke. And she started freaking out. She called my mom. My mom came down. She was freaking out. They were freaking out worse than I was. And the one pregnant, the one whose water was broke, was telling them, calm down, it's okay. But, you know, I rode into the ambulance to the hospital. Couldn't even get a hold of my boyfriend, or at the time. I had to get a hold of his sister and have her find where he was to tell him. So my first kid, first pregnancy, I couldn't even be the one that told the father that, you know, I'm going into labor. I didn't even know where he was. I didn't even know if he was going to show up at the hospital. But I got there around 6 p.m. and he was born around 1. And with my second, Chasten, he was born on 5/24/16, around 6 p.m., maybe a little later around that time. I was still with the same guy. He was pretty much cheating on me while I was pregnant. I remember I'd get a babysitter for our little boy so we could have some us time before we had 2 kids, you know? And he would leave with this chick all the time to go get high with her and do whatever it was he did with her. And he would even have her at the house while I was there. And it was awful. So yeah, that pregnancy kind of sucked. But where I was so stressed out, taking care of another little boy all by myself, my boyfriend at the time, going out doing all this stuff that he was doing, I was just stressed out, trying to get ready for the newborn baby while dealing with all this. So when I went for my checkup, they told me, that was like, you're in labor, your 4 centimeters dilated. And I'm like, what? You know, I didn't even know. So that's a story about him. And then Zaylin, which is the third one, Zaylin, his father is the guy that I'm with now, which he's amazing. He was born 11/13/17, around 11 p.m. maybe. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't really have any real problems, I guess, with him. Just like daily life bullshit and living at my mom's house where a bunch of people were drinking and shit, which is very stressful. And with 2 kids dealing with their biological dad, you know, not seeing him and shit, him being in jail, blah 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 blah. So I was pretty stressed out. But I get to the hospital because I'm having these pains, you know. I had these pains and I called them and told them about it, and they're like, well, if they don't go away, you know, call back or come to the emergency room. So I waited and they kept getting worse and worse. So my boyfriend, he was like, I just wanted to go to bed. You know, I was like, maybe if I could take a hot bath, it'll make it go away. And I've already took like 7 hot baths, but I was hoping it would just go away. But he was like, let's just go to the hospital. And it late at night and my kids and everything, which I left with my mom. But we went, and when, I don't know if they do this everywhere, but at this hospital, which they were all 3 born at Fort Sanders in Knoxville, Tennessee, when they check you at first, when you're pregnant, you go into the little pregnancy room or whatever, and they check you, but nobody can be in there with you. And, yeah. I was in pain, and I kept telling them I was in pain. And this fucking nurse, which all the nurses there are fantastic, but this one was just a bitch. She was like, she came in there and she looked at the little monitor thing, you know, that says if you're contracting or not. She was like, I see you're contracting, but there's no need for all this noise. And I was just like, bitch, I am in pain. And then the doctor came in finally, and she was like talking, asking all these questions, you know, the same questions the nurses already asked. And I was like, you know, I try not to be mean and I try to be nice, but I was in so much pain. I just looked at her and I was like, look, we can ask all these questions afterwards. I am in pain. Will you please check me? And, you know, she kind of got like snotty with me. She was like, we just got a few more questions. I just started screaming. I was like, I am in fucking pain. And they finally checked me, and then she's like, oh, yeah, she's 9.5 centimeters dilated. And I'm like, yeah, screaming for no reason, huh? So, yeah, I didn't get the epidural with him, only because it was too fucking late because they wanted to ask all these questions and be bitches instead of fucking checking me. And I remember, like, I was in the room and I was like, can I have some medicine, please? This is gonna hurt. And that shit did fucking hurt. And I ended up losing so much blood, and then the blood started to clot up, so I had to go be rushed to another room to get the blood clots removed. And they had some trouble getting me stable afterwards. So yeah, it was just some bullshit. But that is my pregnancy stories. And besides that, everything else went great. Health-wise, labor, all that went good. And, you know, everything else was just perfect. But yeah, that is, again, that's my birth stories. Leave yours down below. I would love to hear about it. To that, because I forgot, because I suck at these videos, is with the finding out I was pregnant. With Kason, I had taken a pregnancy test at the dude's house, and I had to double check it. I thought it was gonna be negative, but I looked and it was positive, and I was like, had to look again, you know. And I quietly went to his room and told him, and then I was like, how the fuck am I gonna tell my mom? So I get to my house and I tell my brother's wife, Samantha, first, and she starts crying. The mom comes in and I told her, and we went and got some pregnancy tests. I bought like 11 pregnancy tests, and every single one of them said positive. And we finally just told my mom. My mom and Samantha were sitting there hugging each other, crying, and me and my cousin Paige were just looking at each other like, what the fuck? You know, I mean, I'm glad she's not yelling at me or nothing, which I thought she was going to, but still, what the fuck? That's what I was thinking at the time. And with Chasten, I was actually getting sick for days. I don't want to exactly tell the whole story on that because I want to save that for another story that I have, and y'all will understand when I tell that other story. But I was in the bathroom with my sister April. Or no, let me restart that. I was getting sick every morning that I would drink coffee. Like, out of nowhere, I just started getting sick. And I for real thought that I had just become lactose intolerant overnight or something. I was like doing research on it and everything. Like, can you just up and become lactose intolerant one day? You know, like, I was seriously doing my research because I did not think I was pregnant. I was on birth control all 3 times that I got pregnant. So, first the pill, then the shot, and the shot again. So anyways, completely lost where I was. So I took a pregnancy test. I took about 10 or so because I just couldn't believe it. But yeah, I was in the bathroom with my sister April, and it showed it positive. So yeah, I was pregnant. I took about 10 more, and they all said positive. And then with Zaylin, yeah, this is gonna kind of sound horish and shit, but I was only with this dude for like 2 months, maybe. And I took a pregnancy test. Oh, it's the guy I'm with now, but I took a pregnancy test, all by myself, didn't let nobody know, and it said positive. And I was like, oh, fuck. This dude is going to leave me. I don't know why I thought that because he had already accepted my 2 kids as his own, but still, I don't know why I was freaking out. I guess because the other 2 pregnancies were kind of shit. I was just really scared. Like, I was so fucking freaked out. And I told my mom, and she was all excited. She's like, we gotta tell him. And of course he overheard that. He's like, tell him what? And I'm like, oh, fuck. So we just told him, and he was actually excited. But he has stories with a little girl that I don't want to tell his business. But this is his 2nd kid. But his first one kind of passed away. But that's not my story to tell. So he was kind of nervous about it. like the whole pregnancy. He didn't really show much joy until our little boy actually got here and was fine and everything. But yeah, he was excited though for the most part. And I was freaking the fuck out the whole pregnancy. I was like, how am I going to take care of 3 kids? How am I going to do this? I don't want another awful pregnancy, you know? Like, I was freaking the fuck out. I was actually thinking about, like, adoption and shit, but I couldn't go through with that. I mean, I'm not putting nobody down that does or anything. I just couldn't do it. And, you know, I was freaking the fuck out. I was scared to death. I was so fucking scared. Like, I wasn't even as scared with my first or second one. But with this one, I was freaking the fuck out. But everything was fine. It's really, it's hard. I'm not saying it's not hard, but it's not as hard as I was freaking out thinking it was going to be. And everything's fine. You know, I actually had a pretty decent pregnancy compared to the last 2. He was actually there. And so, I mean, it was a lot better than the last 2. But it still wasn't that great. I've not had my pregnancies. That's all I ever wanted to do growing up was get pregnant and have a kid. But you know, I didn't want to get pregnant until I was like 25 though. Like that was my age, 25. But still, you know, I wanted to have a baby. So once I did get pregnant, even though it was a lot younger than I wanted to get pregnant, I was still excited. But everything in pregnancy was shit. It was kind of fucked up, but still get my voice out of it. So that's my story. Am I forgetting anything else? I really need to write this shit down, like word for word, but I'm just like a do it as I think of it type of person, so shit kind of sucks and I get like off topic and shit. But I hope you all like the videos. I was about to say like what you see. Yeah, I hope you like what you see, my pimples and all. Anyways, hope you like the videos. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And feel free to share if you want. Leave some comments below on your opinion, your birth story, like I said before. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.